And it is officially December 1st. It is 12:38 a.m. and I'm gonna be double locking my phone. I'm gonna be locking it like this. That's one. And I'm gonna be locking it in this closet over there. It's gonna be hard as freaks. Let's do this. Make the key disappear. Okay, now there's no way to open this shit right here. So, disconnect December. Let's begin.
Disconnect the DOS. Focusing is about saying no.
1 week earlier.
Good morning, legends. So this is a smartphone, and believe it or not, the first smartphone I ever had in my life was at 18 years old. Yes, it was kind of a personal decision. Yes, it was really hard, and yes, I resisted. I resisted this temptation of going normal and practical like all my friends did at the time. But unexpectedly, not having a phone gave me a lot of insights about the world, and specifically 3 precious gifts I'll speak about later in the video. 3 gifts that really changed my perspective on life. And this is a doggo, and this doggo is adorable. But first, I wanted to see how practically the phone had an impact on us nowadays. So as a practical example, I went on campus in a college and asked a dozen people for their average weekly screen time.
What's your screen time?
The results were pretty high. Ah man, the fucking phone. It changed the whole game. B-roll footage and voice off begin. Who would have thought that one day an object the size of our hands could fit all the information in the world and you could access it just by taking it out of your pocket? No wonder smartphones completely changed our lives in the past 10 years. On a daily average, millennials in developed countries use the phone 5.7 hours. Their use is obviously correlated to the amazing technological benefits linked to them. But as you know, being connected to the smartphone has so many bad consequences on mental and physical health, and we don't really need researchers and doctors to notice this for us. I mean, seriously, who never experienced FOMO while using the phone? And what about dependence, anxiety, addiction, depression, memory loss, seeking instant gratification, envy, impatience, attention deficit, eye problems, car accidents, insomnias, loneliness, waste of time, etc. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we all noticed those kinds of problems related to the phone. In the past, being connected to the internet was an escape from reality.
Now that I've gotten on the internet, I'd rather be on my computer than doing just about anything.
But now that being connected all the time became a reality, disconnecting from the internet into the real world is the escape. And this reached such a point that going off the grid and against the grain is perceived as an almost impossible task today. I don't think my generation is realizing how much of a drastic change the smartphone made into this human life of ours, you know? Our generation grew up at the same time as this technology did, and basically we're perceiving this as something normal in today's life. But it's actually not, because we didn't experience what it was to live without the smartphone at the time. We basically grew up with it as a normality, not as something that was new to us. The phone became a standard, something unevitable. This is my phone. My second phone ever. So one day I didn't touch my phone for a whole week, and this happened for 7 minutes straight. And all those notifications made me realize all the amount of time, focus, and concentration I was losing by using my phone. And it's the first time I realized that. But now I welcome you to Disconnect December. I will be challenging myself for the whole month of December to not touch my phone at all. I'm calling this Disconnect December. And no, I'm not doing this for the purpose of a digital detox. A bunch of other YouTubers already made a lot of videos about deleting social media for a while. But I'll be doing the most unpractical thing. I'm locking up my phone and not touching it at all for the whole month. I'm doing this in order to deeply understand and experience how smartphones changed our lives, what it replaced, but mostly, I want to try to be fully present again in every situation without worrying about the future, the past, or any distraction. Hey doggy.
Hi, doggy.
Okay, so let me show you my screen time. I spent on average per day 5 hours on the phone, and that means 35 hours a week on the phone, which is enormous because it makes 76 full days a year. Pause. Did you just realize that? This is crazy. 76 full days out of 365. I really could be learning a new language or starting a business with this free time. This seriously needs to change. Does it have to change? What do you think, Dak? But Rob, you shall ask, what will you be doing in your daily life in December? First of all, as you may know, I dropped out of university, and that means I'm in full control of my time and discipline. December will be for me a month of reflection and preparation for all the projects I'm going to be focusing on in the next few months. Basically, what I'm going to be doing, since I'm not using the phone, is to replace the apps I use the most with some clever alternatives, and the time I use on those apps with some habits I would like to acquire. Waking up early, sports, cold showers, eating healthy foods, and adding something new. Meditation. Oh man, meditating is hard. Too many thoughts coming in, coming out. This month is gonna help me just focus. And these were just the morning routine habits, but there's another range of habits I'd like to include in this month of disconnection. So, some friends of mine made me recently notice that almost all of my actions were goal-oriented and served a specific purpose. But I think it's really key and important sometimes to just experiment a bit more with my time and do more useless things. So some of those useless things I'd like to include in this month are, for example, getting used to speaking English to the camera or editing videos on my laptop, reading so much more, starting a bullet journal, learning the basics for playing the guitar, and speaking and socializing with people by giving them my full attention. Oh, and yeah, one last thing. So I stole this old alarm clock from my sister in order to wake up in the old-fashioned way. Oh! Enough of the speaking. Disconnect December, man. I'm coming at you. Let's roll. Who took my phone? Oh no. Okay, so this part is clearly reenacted, but it actually kind of happened like that for the first days of December. During those first days, I was so used to it that I would just try to grab it, try to find it as soon as possible, as soon as I would wake up. And even when I would start to sleep, I would try to see, like, I need a distraction. But then I realized I was in December and I could not do that. So today is day 4 of the challenge and I feel so free. I can walk around the city without worrying about who I need to answer, and I just feel more present in the now. It's all about the freedom, baby. Today it is day 10 of the challenge and I'm really happy I took this decision of not using the phone for the whole month. It's been 10 days, but I've been noticing so many things. While just walking on the streets, I'm noticing so many details that I wouldn't have noticed if I had the phone. I'm giving so much more attention to people. I'm just doing so much more stuff I wouldn't be doing if I had the phone. But there's some periods of nothingness, as Cal Newport would like to call them.
The first 2 weeks can be uncomfortable. You feel a little bit anxious. You feel like you're missing a limb.
When I had nothing to do, I had a free time, I don't know, a 10-minute gap, a 1-hour gap where I had nothing to do, I would usually just take off my phone and start watching YouTube videos or answering messages or doing the classic Instagram infinite scroll where my brain saturates with like all the highlight reels of others. So what I'm doing instead is just, I don't know, grab a book, or for example, I don't know, I'm walking on the streets waiting for someone. I just need to, I don't know, deal with my thoughts or go for a run. It's all about realization. This experiment is made for change. Let me introduce you to Tommy Sobel. I just finished a video chat with him and interviewed him. Hey!
Hey, Roberto!
What's up? How are you?
I'm really good.
Tommy is based in Los Angeles, California and has a background in neuroscience. He's the founder of Brick, which we will speak about soon, but also works as a digital wellness coach. Digital wellness is a pretty new term, but it's also really important to consider in today's society.
I was on my phone or on screens 12 hours a day or more, and truly wasn't in control of how I spent my time. But I thought it was my own private, personal problem. And so when I befriended these kids who were younger than me, who didn't know what life used to be like before the phones, I realized that it wasn't just me, it was this epidemic that nobody was talking about. That especially nobody was creating solutions for.
And it is in this mindset that he started working on himself and eventually created the Brick movement, a movement that creates phone-free experiences for people that are dissatisfied with their relationship to screens and that are looking to spend much more time engaged in the real world. He explained that one of the biggest problems linked to the phone is the dopamine reaction it triggers. Not only do we get addicted to this injection of dopamine, but the reaction also lacks the oxytocin hormone that we usually get in face-to-face interactions. And this lack is unhealthy.
That's why we find ourselves checking our phones when we're trying to focus on something more important. So we're getting so overstimulated by the dopamine that we are no longer in control of our phone use. Our conscious control of it has been muted. And so we help people improve their phone habits.
Okay.
And I have this workshop that we call the Brick Method, which is a 3-step program to take back control of how you spend your time.
The first step is awareness. It's really key to determine your goals and be aware of what's distracting you from achieving them.
You can't know what's a distraction unless you know what it's distracting you from.
My challenge, I'm going to show you. My challenge is to read all this for the month.
You've made a choice that you want to read these 9 books. You now have a very concrete, specific goal, and you know that your phone was an obstacle to that. So you made this conscious choice to remove that super common distraction.
The second step is sharing solutions and winning conscious control in order to genuinely recognize the problems linked to the phone.
What helps is doing what you're doing, where you first do a complete digital detox. You take 30 days off so you can have the time to get over that withdrawal and recalibrate. Like, how do you want to spend your time? And then how can your phone be something that helps you spend your time? How can it be a tool 100%. To make you grow and live your life as opposed to take you from your life?
The third step is applying sustainable solutions, the phone smart habits.
So it's actually about 20 habits that are a template for digital wellness.
Tommy gave the example of not using the phone at all for the first and last hour of the day, in order to start the day in a creative and proactive mindset, instead of sleeping and waking up with a reactive mindset when we use our phones.
And they also say that your email is basically everyone else's to-do list for you.
We finished the call by him explaining that it's pretty normal to feel conflicting emotions, stress and anxiety, if we haven't made this decision of implementing those habits and having conscious control over the phone. Awesome, thank you Tommy. Goodbye. Bye, see ya. So today is day 14 of the challenge, and I noticed something pretty crazy about the smartphone. I realized it takes so many objects to replace a smartphone, and that the smartphone actually replaced a lot of objects that were made in the past. So I did a cool drone shot with my friend to illustrate the idea. Check it out. And now, check out the bigger picture. That's what it takes to replace a smartphone. Hey! Minimalists? You are really lucky to live in the 21st century, honestly. I mean, look at all those objects. Hey, Vsauce, Michael here, and it's been almost 20 days I didn't use the phone at all, and I feel crazy productive. I just finished today my 7th book, and in the last 2 years I didn't even read that much. Now today I wanted to speak about the 3 gifts I mentioned at the beginning of the video. I don't know if you remember. The 3 gifts that disconnection and being disconnected for 18 years gave me. And those 3 gifts are creativity, being proactive, and resourcefulness. And the main thing that boosted those characteristics in me for these 18 years of not using the phone was boredom. Boredom is so fucking important, and we don't realize that. So many studies show that boredom is essential for developing the reflex of taking initiatives, adapting with ease, improving creativity, but also developing long-term memory, well-being, and defining our sense of self. The human brain always needs to be busy, and there's a specific psychology study that shows that 25% of women and 67% of men prefer to receive an electrical shock instead of staying in an empty room doing nothing. We humans prefer pain over boredom. Isn't that crazy? So with no phone available as the easiest way to feel bored and seek other ways to have this dopamine shot, I needed throughout all those years to keep my brain busy and creative in the most unconventional ways. And I'm starting to feel this again. So in my whole existence, I never really took a month off to deal with my thoughts, my time, and my skills. And now I'm clearly noticing the importance of boredom, especially with introspection. By starting to meditate and to journal a bit every day, I started to investigate on self-exploration. And this apparently useless time actually forces you to deal with thoughts that you didn't want to deal with at the beginning, but also makes you realize so much stuff about yourself and the world around you. Right now, I'm heading to my friend's place, Samantha, and she created a project that's called Airplane Mode, and I'm gonna let her present to you this project more in detail. Hey. Hello. How are you? Yo, a new guy. I don't know this guy. I'm Rob. Nice to meet you. Airplane Mode.
So, welcome to Airplane Mode. This is our setting for now. It's called Airplane Mode, Take a Break to Connect. So here we're in an environment of university, we're all studying, doing other kind of stuff. And so we don't usually take the time to connect to other people or the people around us and like disconnect from our phone. I created this to have at least 1 hour where you just put your phone away and like you focus on the people who are around you and you get to know them a little bit better. But before that, we actually take conversations to another level. So today we talked about prejudice. And like last time we had like this whole conversation about what's good and bad about technology, and like we all discussed what we thought about it, and we're actually like very aware. However, we are missing like the practice of being aware. So we started with that challenge, and Ali like got rid of her Instagram for a while, Tammy did too, and like it's just like a break and you're more aware of how much you're using your social media. And then after that we just play some games, have fun, have like great laughs, because usually we're just so stressed, and laughing is always like the best way to de-stress. Let's connect to connect.
We just finished airplane mode, and I'm really fascinated by the fact that we can connect even more with human beings without social media or without using the phone.
The end of the challenge is near.
Yo, it feels so weird to hold the phone after a month. Wow, there's so many messages. Check this out. This is crazy. Okay, let's check the screen time now. Last 7 days, 0 minutes per day. This is paradise. Disconnect December, challenge completed. Okay, so now I'm gonna be using my phone once again in a normal way in daily life. But after this month without the phone, I got to reflect on my use of technology, and I took some new resolutions. Check them out, baby. Boom! So, the resolutions. First of all, I'm not gonna be using my phone at all for the first and last hour of the day. And to not even force myself to enter this temptation, I'm gonna be banning completely all technological devices from my room. I'm gonna delete regularly social media apps and re-download them from time to time. I'm also gonna be trying to not use my phone in any type of social interaction or event that involves people. And sometimes just leave my phone at home. You know, we don't always need to take the phone wherever we go. I also disabled the notifications on my lock screen in order to avoid the temptation to use it whenever I receive a notification. And lastly, I decided to not answer right away the messages I receive. I mean, most of the times they're not really urgent, and it's not really essential to answer everyone at the same time all the time. I mean, it's like, I can't cope with all this information all the time, and it's important sometimes to just focus on what's essential in life. And if it's really urgent, I mean, people can insist, and if I want to text someone, I can insist as well if they don't answer right on time. So these are my resolutions, but if ever you got inspired by this month of disconnection I made, there's so many habits you could take depending on the negative impact the phone has on you. Like for example, adding grayscale to fight against this addictive design of colors that make the phone so addictive and pleasurable to use, not using the phone while eating, using the phone in specific hours of the day, structuring the apps on your phone in order to easily access the productivity apps instead of the social media apps that can distract more, and even just reconsidering your use of each application you have on your phone. What is the intention and the purpose behind each application on your phone? Why are you using Instagram? Is it just to post pictures of yourself? Is it gonna help you in the future for some specific things? I mean, maybe you have a lot of video games that are losing a lot of your time. It's really important, I think, to just re-question, is it really worth having it on my phone? And that's just examples I gave. There's so many other habits you could be checking on the internet. Practically, this month had great consequences on my well-being and on my productivity, and it can clearly reflect on my work on videos, rethinking about life and decisions, reading more than I did in the past 2 years altogether, learning how to play the guitar, journaling, meditating, working out, spending time with friends in the outdoors with my family, and getting more involved in relationships with full attention and care, and also just being present in the now, just being aware of my surroundings. We are a generation that is continuously growing with new tools and technologies, and those technologies have disadvantages as big as advantages. So I think it really became a key skill to know how to use the phone responsibly and effectively, because if not, we become easily dependent and addicted, and it's really unsustainable for us humans in the long run. I think those who use the phone responsibly are the winners of the game. So my question for you who's watching: are you using the phone in a responsible, conscious, and sustainable way? No? Well, I think you should do something about it. Yes? Then I applaud you. But if it's yes, maybe there's other aspects of your life that require behavior change. That could be bad habits. Are you playing too many hours of video games or watching too much Netflix? I mean, all those things could block you from personal growth. So introspect, take necessary measures, and good luck. Told me she wanted to not use the phone for 1 month. So what are you going to be doing? Disconnect January or something? January 1st, I'll be throwing her phone in the f***ing toilet if she doesn't do the challenge.
I'll do it.
And it's a good initiative. It's not my initiative. She actually took the initiative of doing this. So I think you should all take example on my sis.
Yes.
On my sis.